Dear chairs, dear audience, I would like to present my research topic, which is the role of Semmelweis spacing in the success of CAD/CAM restorations. My name is Mónika Balázs. I'm a clinical specialist at the Department of Restorative Dentistry and Endodontics. And I have a vision to contribute to perfectly adapted CAD/CAM restorations. In order to achieve this, my mission is to find the best Semmelweis spacing parameters for CAD/CAM restorations. In order to fulfill my mission, I have two ongoing projects. Both of them will investigate CAD/CAM restorations in vitro. My first project is investigating the effect of Semmelweis spacing on the fit of milled CAD/CAM restorations. Precise data on the global prevalence of adults with fixed restorations is still missing. However, surveys indicate that approximately 1/3 of dentate adults have at least one crown tooth. Regarding clinical outcomes, the estimated 5-year success rate of milled CAD/CAM crowns ranges from 74% to 92%. Marginal and internal adaptations are key determinants of this success, as an inadequate fit can directly lead to secondary caries, periodontitis, or a loss of retention. Mistakes that would compromise the fit of the restoration can happen at any stage of the CAD/CAM process. Luckily, we have the Semmelweis space between the restoration and the abutment, which can absorb these mistakes. By adjusting this parameter, we not only provide space for the cement, but also reduce the misfit of the crown. Due to the lack of sufficient scientific evidence, dental laboratories often rely on manufacturer guidelines or technical notes when determining these settings. A scoping review of the topic suggests that the minimum Semmelweis spacing required for the lowest marginal gap is between 60 to 80 micrometers. Therefore, our aim is to determine the smallest Semmelweis space setting that minimizes the marginal gap of milled CAD/CAM restorations. Our clinical question is, what is the minimum Semmelweis space value needed to achieve the lowest marginal gap in CAD/CAM restorations? We will follow the PEO framework and hypothesize that the Semmelweis space setting of 70 micrometers yields the lowest marginal gap. By adjusting this parameter, we could offer patients milled CAD/CAM restorations that have a more predictable clinical performance. We conducted a systematic search, altogether we found 216 eligible full text by this. We finished the risk of bias assessment, and the statistical analysis is ongoing, and I have some preliminary results to show. These results are from the analysis of marginal gap for both workflows. Internal gap and absolute marginal discrepancy will be assessed as well, and we plan subgroup analysis for fully digital and hybrid workflows for all outcomes too. My first figure shows how the software design mean Semmelweis spacing affects our primary outcome, the mean marginal gap. The multivariate meta regression includes 167 in vitro studies with more than 7,200 restorations. The between study heterogeneity was substantial, with 71.4%. This high diversity justifies the need for moderators to explain data. Our primary outcome of interest is a marginal gap measured in micrometers. While the clinically acceptable threshold is 120 micrometers, a smaller gap is generally associated with a better prognosis. The model revealed a negative slope for the mean Semmelweis spacing with minus 0.0014. According to the robust coefficient test, this is statistically significant. When we back transform this to the linear scale, we get that with each 1 micrometer added Semmelweis spacing, there is a 0.14% decrease in marginal gap. Although it seems small, if we increase the Semmelweis spacing from 30 to 120 micrometers, this means a 12% improvement. The next slide shows how the material group of the restoration influences the predicted mean marginal gap. In this case, we used the zirconia-based group as a reference, since it had the best fit with 56.6 micrometers. If we look at the data, the silicate ceramic group stands out clearly with a positive coefficient. Back transformed to the linear scale, if we switch to silicate ceramic group, this means a 35.6% increase in the predicted mean marginal gap. As a result, we will get a predicted mean marginal gap value of 76.7 micrometers. And my last figure shows how the manufacturing workflow and the number of units influences the mean marginal gap. The interaction between them is not significant, but we can look at the trends. It seems like fully digital workflow in general gives smaller marginal gap across all span lengths. And by increasing the number of units of the restoration, all workflows will result in larger marginal gaps. Now we move on to my second project, which is comparing additive and subtractive manufacturing on the fit of fixed CAD/CAM restorations. CAD/CAM system primarily utilize milling as a subtractive technology. Although it is a widely used manufacturing method, it has several disadvantages. It faces difficulties in milling complex geometry objects. It is also economically inefficient, since milling produces more than 90% of material waste. Moreover, it is time-consuming, since you can produce restorations only one after another. It is also costly, both at the restoration production and the equipment investment level. Fortunately, recently newer technology appeared, which is called 3D printing or additive technology. This method produces restorations layer by layer and is able to overcome these disadvantages. Although it is a widely studied area of dentistry, evidence still remains limited on whether these restorations' marginal gap reaches a clinically acceptable level. So we aim to compare 3D printing and milling techniques on the marginal fit of fixed CAD/CAM restorations. Our clinical question is, does 3D printing provide a marginal fit comparable to that achieved with milling in fixed restorations? We will follow the PICO framework and hypothesize that the marginal fit of 3D printed fixed restorations is similar to that of milled ones. If our hypothesis is true, we could offer patients faster, cheaper, good quality multiple restorations. To sum up, I have two ongoing projects. With the first one, I would like to provide clear evidence on the best Semmelweis space settings. And with my second, I will have decide if 3D printing can be considered a reliable, evidence-based alternative in fixed prosthodontics. And I would like to end with a quote: "A smile is a curve that sets everything straight." Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mónika, for the nice presentation and the huge work you've put in so far. I would have a comment or a question. Maybe I have missed it from the background slide, but regarding your first project, first figure, we've seen that the incremental increase of the cement spacing decreases the marginal gap.
Yes.
So of course we want like as low as possible marginal gap. But how much can you increase the cement spacing? Is there like a threshold or a value?
No, I think this will be answered with my second outcome, the internal gap, because with more than 200 micrometers of internal gap, the fracture resistance of the cement decreases, which means that the crown will loosen and the patient will lose the crown. So I think this will be answered with my second outcome.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Just one question regarding to your first study, that you are mentioning every time that it's statistically significant or not, but is it clinically relevant and is it clinically significant? Because I think this is the most important every of our studies.
Yeah, I got these results last Friday, Friday actually, and we couldn't really agree with my team on whether it's clinically relevant or not. Personally, I would say no. My supervisor said yes, so we will debate on that.
Thank you very much.
I have only a short question for you. What do you think? What is the reason behind of the high heterogeneity in your findings?
Well, we would have liked to include 9 different predictors, so we collected all that lot of data, but out of that 9, we had only 5 included in the analysis. So yes, probably that's it. So there is something hidden in behind, but we couldn't assess it because the other 4 predictors were very badly reported, unfortunately.